Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and I was always told I had a voice radio, so today I am answering one of the questions I get asked most often. What cards do I buy from the new set? The Pokemon Sun and Moon expansion comes out tomorrow, Friday the 3rd of February, so I thought I would give you my buy list for this set. Now, I am telling you which cards I think you should buy. Couple of rules. Solgaleo GX and Lunala GX are not going to make the list. They are coming out in tins later. If you really want these, if you can afford to wait, buy them in the tins. They will be much, much cheaper. These are the cards I think are going to be good and are likely to go up in price, so if you're going to be using them, and I think you probably will, you should buy them now. Now there might be other cards, things like Dragonite, things like Incineroar GX. I like them greatly. They're not going to make the list because I don't think they're going to be that much used, so they're not going to get that expensive, so bear in mind if there's cards you really like, you might want to buy them as well. So, here we go, in set order. Decidueye GX, you need 4 of these. The ability is absolutely insane, allowing you to do a whole bunch of extra damage, 2 damage counters per turn, per Decidueye. The price of this card, if it's good, and it looks very good, is going to skyrocket. Get them now. Similarly, Lurantis GX. Paired with Vileplume, it looks like it's going to be the best card in the format, or at least one of the best decks in the format. I've done a video about it. Check out the link in the description. In fact, I've done videos about all of these cards. I'll put a whole bunch of links in the description. But I've done a video about that deck. You use Forest of Giant Plants, you get set up quickly, your opponent can't play item cards, you do good damage while healing. This card is going to go up in price. Try and get them before it gets silly. Although this is not financial advice. I'm not saying they're definitely going to go up in price. I am answering a regularly asked question by viewers of what cards they should buy from the new set. This is merely my opinion. If you really want financial advice, go see a financial advisor, although I don't think they're going to know much about Pokemon Sun and Moon. Shiinotic, I think you need a pair of these. The ability that helps you search for grass Pokemon is going to be great in Decidueye decks, great in Lurantis Vileplume decks, but you're never going to be playing 4 of these in a deck. 2 will suffice. Vikavolt ability is amazing. You should get 2 to 3 Vikavolts. The thing is, at the moment, it's not that great because the only Charger Bug we've got is electric. But if we ever get a grass Charger Bug, then that means we can evolve him into Vikavolt using Forest of Giant Plants. It means you can get Vikavolt out on turn 1, and Vikavolt's ability is amazing. I think this card will be quite cheap at the beginning, but I think it will go up in price if we ever get a grass Charger Bug, and given that in the game Charger Bug is bug electric, I think we will sooner rather than later. Alolan Muck, I think you need 2 of these. It's the new Garbodor. It's not as good as Garbodor. Garbodor turns off all abilities, Muck just turns off basics. But you know what? When Garbodor rotates, Alolan Muck is going to be the best thing we've got. Not to mention, you could use this in a Decidueye deck, turning off your opponent's basic abilities while keeping Decidueyes, for instance. Now, I know Persimmon isn't a rare card, but it's a good card. It's a good deck, and we've seen uncommon cards get expensive before. It's never going to be $20 a card, but it could go up to a few bucks a card. Get them while they're cheap. They're very good cards. It is a deck pretty much in and of itself. As a side note, the Mew from Fates Collide is likely to go up in price because of this card, so consider investing in some of them as well. Umbreon GX is awesome. Firstly, it evolves from Eevee using the Energy Evolution ability. Secondly, it's got the attack of Darkrai EX, which was the best card in the format for a very long time. Umbreon GX is good. I think you need 3 to 4 of these. Tauros GX is possibly the best tech we've got. Combine it with Ninja Boy and the GX attack becomes amazing. Basically, you do 3 times as much damage as is on you for a double colorless. If you've got a damaged basic Pokemon, Ninja Boy into Tauros, get a cheeky one-hit KO, and you never know, maybe you can use Versus Seeker to Ninja Boy out again the next turn. Tauros GX is an amazing tech. You need one of these in your binder. Speaking of colorless GX techs, get yourself 1 or 2 Gumshoes GX. I like the GX attack, 50 damage for every energy on the defending Pokemon. It'll get you cheeky KOs occasionally, it's only for 1 energy, and what it might do is make your opponent wary to attach energy, so you've got a nice deterrence factor going on there as well. But I love the ability here. Being able to look at your opponent's hand every turn, it's just awesome. Oranguru, I am still seeing people saying they don't think this is a great card, and I don't know why. I got some heat for putting this very high up in my top 10 cards of Pokemon Sun and Moon video. It's so good. I think the problem is at the moment, people are used to drawing loads of cards with Shaymin. I assure you, when Shaymin rotates out and isn't legal for tournament play anymore, and we are struggling for consistency cards, Oranguru will be amazing. Have 4 in your binder before that happens. Liam, or however it's pronounced, it's not a great supporter, but I would put 2 of them in your binder. Same thing with Lily. In fact, same thing with Team Skull Grunt. All of these supporters have their uses. They all could be good in decks, but they're not 4-ofs. So have a couple in your deck or in your binder. You know you can reuse them with Versus Seeker at least until that card rotates. I would have a couple there for if you ever need them in the future. Nest Ball and Timer Ball, you need 4 of these stashed in a binder somewhere. Nest Ball gets basic Pokemon, Timer Ball gets evolution Pokemon. I know we've got Ultra Ball and that's the best search at the moment, but you're only playing 4 of these in your deck. And when you've got other Pokeballs you need to play, Timer Ball in an evolution deck, Nest Ball in a basic deck. Something like Persimmon may well be playing 4 Nest Balls. They are the kind of cards you need 4 of in your binder. Speaking of 4 of, Professor Kukui. Now, I don't think this is the best card ever, but I do think it's going to see a lot of play. It gets you cards, it does extra damage. I don't think it's a 4 of in decks now, but I think it could be in the future. And the last card I'd have 4 of is Repel. Now, Repel's a weird one. Right now, it's terrible. But if Lysander ever gets rotated, you can flip coins with Pokemon Catcher. But I do like Repel. I think it could be good in a future format. I'd get 4 of them while they're cheap. And finally, couple of Rotom decks. Look, Rotom decks isn't great, but we've got Town Map in the format at the moment. So why would you play Rotom decks? But when Town Map goes away, Rotom decks gets a lot better. You need a couple in your binder. And just to finish off, a couple of ones which are less important, but I think could be quite good and might be worth stashing away as fun little techs. Wishy Washy, seriously, that ability could be immense if the right card is released. Araquanid, it's so good against fire decks, it's got to be good at some point. Pyukumuku, come on, combine it with Bursting Balloon, you know it could be fun because of the ability. And Eevee, just because that ability is going to make all the evolutions playable. And I know we get Umbreon and Espeon in this set, we're getting Sylveon in the Sun and Moon Strengthening expansion pack, and I'm willing to bet we'll get all the others in the near future as well. So get these Eevees ready, although they're never going to be that expensive. Now remember what I've said, ladies and gentlemen, this is purely my opinion, I'm not guaranteeing, but knowing the format, having, I think, quite a high level of knowledge about the game, I think these are the cards which are likely to be good and hence likely to go up in value. By all means, wait and play the game, that's fine. But I think these are the cards you should have in your binder so that if you need to go and make a deck in the near future, you're not going to be surprised by hideous costs of cards. Now, you know the deal, ladies and gentlemen, there is a comment section. Tell me cards I've missed. Tell me cards I've put on here that I really shouldn't have. Just, you know, be nice. There are buttons to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Please use them both. It will make me a very happy boy. Follow me on Twitter @TheWassy if you feel like it, and look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.